Hi guys, and welcome to Life of Candy. Today we're going to talk about heart. What does heart mean to you? I'll tell you what heart means to me. Heart means that everything you do is with passion. Everything you do is with intention. How you love, how you perceive the world. Even from eating, let's say you got a plate of food, right? And whether you prepared yourself or you sat down in a restaurant, you should have the intention of enjoying the food. So you want it to be presented to you well, plated well. I believe in plating your food. I feel that life is a flow of art. In every part of the world, you can find art in everything, in every aspect of the world. What I mean by that is, let's take a plate, right? Now, let's say you take a solid white color plate and you want to make, a vegetable and a protein. Let's say the protein may be steak and you want to put a vegetable. So you want to plate the vegetable in a way that it may look, well, it depends on the venue. It depends on the time of year. Let's say it's Christmas time. You want it to look real Christmas-like, right? So you may put bell peppers. You may put red and green bell peppers to dress it up. You may cut the steak in a certain way. You may put the sauce in a certain way. You may put it in a certain pattern. You may dress it up in a certain way that's appealing to the eye. Because once it captures the eye, now your taste buds start to flare, right? So you sit down and you have this beautiful piece of steak in front of you, and you have a knife and fork, but then you think of the ambiance. You want the music to be right. You want the views, the scenery, you want everything to be perfect. And you sit down with your family for this beautiful plate, and you cut into it with your knife and fork, and you taste it. And the bursts of flavor just fills your taste buds, and you're like, wow, that's what life's supposed to feel like. Maybe you taste a little of zest on it. Maybe they put orange on it, Maybe they put garlic on it. Maybe it's different flavors working together to fool the taste buds. You never know, whatever it may be. I feel that everything in life we have to be intentional. We have to have a passion for. Whether you're a taste tester or whether you are a chef, whether you're a baker, you want to take your time and really present it in a way that it's complimentary to you and complimentary to the person receiving the meal. And especially, it's complimentary to you if you can go back home to your mom and say, this is a view of my portfolio. This is what I have done. Even your father. I always go with mothers first because we come from the womb. But the mother and father unit is connected as equal. So let's say another aspect of it can be flowers. Let's take a flower shop. Now, a flower shop, it depends on where you go. Do you know that there's different types of flowers? No matter where you go, there's tropical flowers. They're all different arrays of flowers. So imagine collecting flowers, and depending on what country you're in, you could put up your favorite flower and you take pictures, photography. That's another expression of art. So you take pictures of only flowers. Even birds, when you look at life, the colors of the birds, from the parrots, you see red and you see green and you see blue and you see orange. All these different color birds. That's life. To me, life is like what I call a jambalaya. It's like an expression of art. The creators of this world, I believe it's duality, a male and female, because everything has male and female in it. And I said that before. So with that being said, if you keep that in mind, I was thinking I was thinking that if you look at life from that perspective, and you look at color, this is like we are born with a canvas, like a blank canvas, and we get to paint our life, you know, and what we do and what we see and how we perceive the world, you know, and from what we eat to the species we see and animals, you know, and birds and reptiles. I mean, look at the patterns, you know, it's artwork all over, from the sky to the trees, to the flowers. If we start to appreciate what the creators have created for us, we'll understand love. I believe love is in everything. Love is in nature, you know? Love is in communication. You know, a good gesture is to try to learn the language of another country. At least learn the greeting. So as you go, you can greet, you know, the people that you are coming in contact with. That's a beautiful gesture. Another thing, heart. Another example of heart. Let's take the music industry. And I've seen interviews like this. Let's say that you're an artist and you're coming to a radio station and you're trying to present your work of art. Just remember I said everything. Art is in everything. Now, whoever are the DJs, you know, the radio hosts and the DJs, you want them to already know who you are. You want them to have previewed your work. You want them to be able to tell your story back to you, you know, to relate to this record. You don't want somebody who didn't do their homework on you. You don't want to interview with a person like that. And I feel like this, if you are part of the industry, whether it's the rap industry, R&B, any genre, country, I feel like it's in your best interest to go and look at the origins of that genre. It's in your best interest to go, like even an artist, any artist, I feel like it will be respectful if you are a fan of an artist, to go back to the origins of the artist. I always feel like when you go back to the origins of an artist, the origins of a business, or origin of anything, you get to know that person from the start to now. You get a whole history on that person. So now you're having a conversation, you have more to talk about. You know, the biggest sign of respect is to actually do your homework, you know, to read up, to research on this person. I like to really understand people. I enjoy getting to know people. I enjoy understanding their story, understanding where they came from. You know, who were they around? What was their mother like? What was their father like? How was life so hard for them? What made them motivated to be successful? You know, that's the heart in it. The heart in the business. Like, for example, let's take Disney World. Now, Disney World is not sponsoring this, but I just wanted to say this. I loved the brand Disney, you know, and I think they had A+ advertising for many years, right? And I went and I looked at the origins of Disney and how it started from heart and the Disney family. And it's a whole story. I want to keep it positive. So I would say, I wish that the heart would stay in each company. You know, you could do other deals, but always have a check in the system of imbalances. So you could balance, you know, your business, you know? And I say that to say that to me, heart, like I said before, heart is in everything. It's also in music. It's also in instruments. It's in tones. You hear the wind blow. The wind blows to a melody. If you listen, it's subtle, you know, but depending on the mood, if it's a sunny day, you hear a subtle whisk of wind, You know, if it's storming outside, you hear it's more aggressive. So music is in everything. You know, music is a part of life, just like color and art. So that's why I appreciate art museums. I appreciate books. I appreciate poems. I appreciate art museums and architecture, you know, and I enjoy different instruments because it tells a story. You know, even in fabric, I could relate it to fabric as well. When I took fashion design and we had to look at the way the fabric was draped in magazines and the textures of the different fabrics, you know, and the colors, you know, the different shades of colors. It relates to hair as well. You know, there's art in hair, you know, the different tones. I think about the process of coloring your hair, dyeing your hair. You know, a really good colorist knows how to, you know, create chunks of color, you know, for volume, for depth, you know, and I know I keep saying, you know, but I'm thinking because I want to be intentional in what I say. And I feel that everything you do, it's very important in your best interest to be as authentic as possible. Because if you're not authentic, it'll come back. You know, it's something that if you're authentic, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to defend anything. You just be you. But when you're not authentic, you know, you lose yourself. And I would suggest that you do a better job of figuring out what you like. Taste different food, listen to different music, you know. Put yourself in environments that you're not used to. Talk to different types of people. Learn a different language. Be intentional in your decisions and push yourself. Read different books, because how do we learn something new? We have to expose ourselves to different things. I feel like as a human being, we are explorers, and you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't go out and explore from time to time. Go see different countries, you know, try different forms of transportation, from trains to planes to boats. Go on a sailboat if you never have. I have, and I will tell you, the sailboat experience, go to Mystic Seaport. This is also not sponsored, but if you go to Mystic Seaport, they give you a chance to actually go on and sail on a boat. And you can actually help pull the ropes and open the sails. It's a beautiful experience. And I mean, you might get seasick, because I did. But to experience life from different perspectives. And there was a time when they showed us the slave ships and the living quarters and how tight it was. And I tried to go under there and I couldn't fit. So I was trying to figure out how that was possible. But I would say explore different arts. Go to different theaters, you know, look at ballet, look at different plays, you know. Go to Carnegie Hall in New York, you know, go to different places depending on what state you're in. Go to a magic show. It's so much things to do in this world. Go see animals, go sightseeing. Even a nice long walk on a beach, or a nice drive down a scenic route. You know, just take the earth in, you know. I'm going to stop saying, you know. But what I want to say is take life as it comes. Be thankful for where you are. Really be thankful. Journal it. Connect with your life as it is now. Plan for the future. Be purposeful in your planning. Plan ahead of time. What do you want to see? What do you want for your life? You know, and see, I did it again. But let me close by saying, love yourself. And a part of loving yourself is finding yourself. You owe it to yourself and your kids as a parent to find yourself first before you become a parent. And when you do become a parent, if you didn't have time to explore and to get to know yourself on a different level, may I suggest that you do, because you don't know how your moods can affect your children. Because if you're not happy with yourself, you may not intentionally know that you're affecting your children. It might just happen. You know, sometimes we are guilty of spreading negative energy and we don't even see it. Even in our tone, we share it. If we're having a bad day, we need to relax. Just take a deep breath and exhale. Exercise. Exercise is important. Early in the morning when you don't feel like it, and I told you, use my video, you know, Life of Candy, affirmations. Affirmation starts with the mind. It works with your mind first, and it keeps you motivated to keep moving. Plus, there's no visual, so you're working out by yourself, for yourself, with intention. And you're programming your brain with this software. So it's a download, that's an intentional download to the brain to motivate you, not only in fitness, but in life. So check it out. Check out my fitness affirmation workout. So I'll close by saying, I hope life is kinder to you and your family today. See you next time. Goodbye. You know, taking the time, you know.